Okay, my friends, Roger once again. This is going to be tricky. This is going to be very interesting. This guy is from MIT. Now, he seems like a nice guy. And he's asking, do we humans have free will? Are you free to say and do and think and respond and react and do all the things around your neighbors and friends? Or are you programmed by the society to respond in exactly a certain way so you don't make waves? Well, I can tell you one thing. Yes, that's true. We are programmed, and if you don't act in those ways and make those waves, they will drown you. Now, Dr. Bach, let's just go with that. I'm not sure how to say it. Dr. Bach, he's at MIT Media Lab and Harvard program for evolutionary dynamics, is an AI researcher who works and writes about cognitive architectures, mental representation, emotion, social modeling, the multi-agent system. He is the founder of the Micro-Psi project, in which virtual agents are constructed and uses computer models to describe the interactions of emotions, motivations, cognitive situation agents. This is exactly what I'm studying myself because I've run into it. He's right. We're programmed. Now, here's what he has to say. It's not long. For many years, Dr. Bach could not understand why humans flock so strongly towards religion and ideology. Having grown up in communist Eastern Germany, seeing the people around him buy into nationalistic narratives that were to him obviously untruthful and made no sense. It was only when the wall came down and he came to understand that people everywhere are buying into various false narratives. As of 2015, 34% of Americans still reject evolution completely. See, he's bought into a complete false. Evolution is nonsense. This is going to be very, very fun if he engages. Okay, the drive to believe whatever instructions come from above you is not a cognitive error. Bach realized then, but an evolutionary feature, as powerful as it is problematic. And it's problematic. You got that right, because he's going to have a problem. I know this. I want you, sir, Mr. Bach, to talk to me about this. The ability for large groups of people to follow one set of rules, to cooperate, is how Homo sapiens established agricultural society, ultimately how we outcompeted other now long nomadic hominid groups. In other words, we all agree on the same things, so we do the same stuff, and then we can work as a system versus, like I do, or you're going against everything. But I'm against everything because everything's wrong. Not because I'm just a nasty guy and against everything. I can prove the things I'm saying. These people can't prove the things they're saying. And he's talking about 34% of the people buying into false narratives. Well, he's bought into the false narrative. Come to me, sir. Let's talk. All right? So we are a programmable species, he says, and we need to belong and conform to a larger entity to survive. As such, Bach sees the debate surrounding free will not as a question of determinism or incompatibilityism, but of social conditioning. Exactly. Perhaps the free will relates to decision-making over physics. All right? Are you really free to act in a way that is true? That's the key. Or are you bound by a social code of responsibility to be led by the people that are leading us? And they are leading us against God. That's the key here, Dr. Bach. They are leading us away from the truth. All right, so if you want to follow them, that's fine. But I want you to talk to me about it. And I sent him I thought it was a very nice letter. Email, and I want to engage. And I expect to engage. If they're going to be telling people, we're the heroes, we're the smart people, we're from MIT, we're from Harvard, we're from Yale, wherever you're from, talk to me, because they won't. They run from me. They know better than to talk to me. Okay, my friends, I'm sorry, but your professors run away from truth. I have new species We call them no-toes, and I mean we have them in copious quantities. All kinds of new evidence that is factually supported with DNA and CAT scans and anatomists and the whole 9 yards. I mean, just giant toe. That's the giant toe. And that's the guy's giant callus on his giant toe. And there's giant grip skin on the bottom, and there's this calcified pad on the bottom. And that's the black vein blood that leaked out the side, and that's that kind of skin that is this flappy little skin that goes up against your other toe, and that's his toenail. All right, so I have the evidence, and it's a tragedy what's going on. And let me explain to you what happened. I've discovered all this stuff. I went to Yale and asked Professor Derek Briggs there if he would look at it, and he didn't want to look at it. He said it was impossible, and I was, you know, so forth. And I said, well, what would it take for you to look at it? Because I feel I'm right. Oh, you'd have to have this and that and all kinds of DNA. And I said, well, I'll do all that stuff. And I did every bit of it. And he still refuses to look at it. So what does that tell you about Professor Briggs at Yale University? I have my opinion. What's yours? Okay, here's one of my people, Tish Egerton, found a vast quantity of these. This is a new species of the no-toes, and she's got them in every different range of decay. And I do too. So this is not something that's unusual. The unusual thing is that the people that are teaching you refuse to teach you the truth. You know, here's some of Tish Egerton's finds right here. I mean, you can't deny this if they look at it, but they refuse to look at it. I have these, same things. Mine are in much more complete condition. Tish has ones that are eroded, but it's fabulous because we can look at them. Now, these are from other people sent me. These are from giants. And that's from Tish. And it looks like it has a wing nut on the bottom. There's a big pad that comes around here. And they all have it. And here's the one that shows the detail of it compared to our foot. You see the ball in the back of her foot? This is what is on the side of these no-toe feet. And the leg comes down here. There's a spring here and a spring here. That's the ball just exactly like this. That's the strap that runs up to the bone that runs up. I mean, it's just what it is. This was manufactured or something. I don't know. It's not like us. It's totally different, but it has the same kind of feet. I mean, they have 5 toes, and this would have been totally encased, just like this one. See? That would have been totally encased. All right, ask your professors about this. All right, ask your professors why I find meteorites with blood in them, red blood and the black, which is the vein blood, that's artery vein. Why do they show up with that? And there's plenty of them with it. And how about this? What about this, my friends? Why does this gigantic meteorite, which is iron, show up like that? These are iron meteorites, and the reason is because that was an iron lung coming through space. It's smelted off. There is blood still inside there. I guarantee that. And I can stand behind my statements. And guess what? I have meteorites right here with blood still in them. That is saturated with blood. It came through, blistered off in space, burnt off all of the flesh. Everything in space is biology. I'm telling you, it's time to talk to me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm not wrong. And I can show I'm not wrong. And that is a fingertip. You know, get your anatomists out and have them take a look at that black staining pattern right there. You see that? That's called a carbon silhouette. And that is the pattern of a distal phalanges, vein, artery. Veins do not blow out. Arteries blow out. See it? Boom, boom, boom. This died laying like this somehow. All the blood worked its way out. It eroded. Whoops. But what's left over The only thing that can show you there is that black silhouette. Hope you can see that. But that is a distal phalanges. And at the tip of this will be an apical tuft. And we, as human beings, have the only big apical tufts. And that, right here, is a terrestrial finger tip that has eroded. That is where the blood blew out of this one. And the tip. That's blood, and that's blood. And this can be proven. This is not something that can't be proven. And that is identical, absolutely 100% identical to that fingertip. All right? And this giant one here, which is DNA certified, would burn off to become literally exactly like that. All right? And you see this hook right here? See that? That's where the tendons grab in. You see that hook? You see that hook? Same thing. Of course, this one's highly eroded. This came out of the same hand. I have the whole hand for it. I have the whole body here. I have the feet. I have everything. Nobody's interested. Nobody's interested in tissue stuff either. And there's other stuff. We have so much stuff, it's just unbelievable. However, to penetrate academia is impossible. All you have to do is look, and you can see inside these pockets of the lung, identical to the pockets of the lung I have here. If this came through space, everything would have burnt off of it, the volatile organic compounds. You would be left with the structural metals and so forth. Exactly like you see there. And a little fossil fuel to the fire. Could the standard model be wrong? Exploring lepton universality. They admit now it is totally wrong. The Bohr model of atomic theory is wrong. So space there's not a thing that's right anymore. If they cannot start and turn around and look at the reality that has completely changed, because they've also found biology in space now, which is they found proteins. Proteins are some of the most complex molecules there are, and they are made by living creatures. You see right here, scientists may have found proteins in a meteorite. Of course they have. Protein discovered inside a meteorite, obviously. And the one that really started it, I saw an article by her, Mary Schweitzer. Now it's gone. I can't find her article. But they hurt her. See, I don't care what they say about me. That's the last thing I saw posted from her. They destroyed her because she found dinosaur DNA. And as soon as she said that, they just destroyed her. And that was 10 years, more than that, 10 years ago. And I tried to contact her when she first did that. And she wouldn't talk to me either, but you know, I could understand why, because I didn't have nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose. I'm not in their game. I just want truth. And I'm not going to find it because they can't allow it in their field. Otherwise, everybody looks like an idiot. And they are looking more and more like idiots every moment. So here you go. New boson appears in nuclear decay. Breaks the standard model. The standard model of Bohr model is totally wrong. And I have the electron flood theory, which is totally correct, which says there is nothing that exists that is not made from electrons. That's all there is. There's no protons, no neutrons. 100% electrons. Instead of a proton, it's 1,837 electrons in a ball. Now, there's a powerful part of it, and there's a weak part of it. And I understand that, and I have actual evidence to prove that. But nobody will talk. Very, very strange world we live in, my friends.